Well, before we get to the unboxing sometime down the line, I just bought these 40-foot heavyweight trailers. Stick it up as Norfolk and Western, but we might be able to do something with them. You can't see a very good picture, but they're brand new in the box or packaging. Just bought them for £5. Thought that was a good price. Wasn't going to hang around long. Yeah, fill them in the box. Now, it did say there was 4 available, but you can't add another one to your checkout. So you just have to wait for the other one to be listed, which it wasn't. They've listed another one, twice the price for what I just paid for. Same one, same packaging, same description, different part number, different stock number, double the price. Well, I don't know whether it's focusing in on that. The Sprog 2 includes USB cable, JMR decoder, Pro software and drivers on CD-ROM. Requires a regulated DC power supply, which if you clicked on the ad, which you can't do now, it's not included. I don't see a CD-ROM in there. It actually states on the back, software is downloadable. Right, oil spill kit. Oil spill kit. Somewhere in there should be a track grind one. These were discounted down, but the discount was pretty much negated by the BS that is the regulations on sending liquids in the post. So you have to pay for the courier £8, £8 to have this shipped, even though theoretically if I hadn't had paint in it, it would have gone free via courier anyway. So you're now paying for the service you would have got for free. And to rub salt in the wounds, the £5 discount on postage for sending me something that was damaged last time can't be used on your trunk items. So that was also a worthless gesture. This was cheaper than normal. The reason I bought it, they were left with a lot of these. I think they've sold a lot of their dead stock to other shops because it seemed to have disappeared overnight. I don't think it was the mad rush of everyone buying everything just because of the sake of it was cheap, although doubtless some of it will turn up on eBay. But if you recall, or this video will probably go out before another one, I bought some more from Model Junction that were even cheaper than these. Not the best colours in the world, because obviously they're fall colours, which we don't really have in England, but there's nothing to stop you putting a bit of paint in this, putting it in the blender and mixing it and changing the tone, which is why I bought it. Saves me all the grief of chopping it up into small bits. I just changed the colour. So another pair of trees. These ones look a bit healthier. I say a bit. Looks like we've got some Dutch elm disease there, but nothing that's not fixable. So I'll unload the rest and we'll have a look. Concord tri-level auto rack, Norfolk and Southern Railroad, HO gauge, £25. Not a bad price. That's not effing HO gauge. 14701. 14701. Yeah, another F up. Right, I'll quickly whiz through this and then I've got to do a check off on the sheet because I managed to dig that out. So here's the missing wheel set. At least he got one thing right. So I did buy some of their clearancey bits for scratch building, window frames, a little garage kit. It was still £8.75, but I couldn't find anything comparable for similar money. There was a 4-bay garage, but I didn't want something like that. So I hummed and hawed. They had a few of these left, but I only bought the one. It's quite weighty, decent thick MDF or whatever it is they cut them from. £1 for a pair of couplers are just sort of handy spares. I bought a pack of these mixing balls, which basically I think they're 5.5mm, so they're probably, I don't know whether BBs would work or they go rusty, but I bought some for my paints because they're going a bit thick, some of them. This is the track grime. You saw the 2 oil spill kits. We bought the tree kit, I think that was about £12. And then this one as well, which is just the armatures. That one's got the bits and bobs in it. I thought I'd give one a go. This was another little filler. It should be a couple of these. These are the lighting effects. I bought one before, so I cleared them out of what they'd got, because I've got an idea of a few scenes where I can use the welding light effects. These were sort of the general used items, the packs of figures. I won't normally buy these if they're more than 10 quid. So they must have been under that. So we've got seated passengers, and they were supposed to be caretakers or something, but obviously they're in high-vis sort of clothing, so they could be construction workers, rail workers. Looking at these, I can't remember exactly what they were, but they probably didn't want to be much more than that anyway. They're railway sleepers, or ties as you call them in America. Laser cut, so they just need staining down and look a bit more realistic, and quite a lot larger than leftover plastic ones when you're doing your rail. Another little laser cut one is the old style speed signs that are bedded in the track ballast. I've been after some of them. I was going to go for some brass ones, but they were so cheap I thought, well, you know, they're worth a punt. A couple of packs of doors again for scratch building. Bunch of their cheap plastic, Marquette or something, some French sounding thing. The sort of various sizes there. Again, always handy for the scrap bin. And you want to scratch stuff together. Pack of nails, just handy. I haven't got many. And again, I think they were a £1 item, so although I'm not intending on nailing a lot of the track down, if at all, anything will be screwed or glued. These were a bit of a bargain at £10, considering another second-hand railway shop not far from me is asking 10 quid for each container. Not normally that Hattons would do them that cheap. This wasn't the clearance stuff. A lot of this stuff was bought before they announced they were going down the toilet. A rail box, 40, I think these are 40-50 foot. Been after a few of these. I've just found one on eBay. They want £15.99 for it, which I chuckled, seeing it's a NASA and blue box. £5 to £7.50 is about the mark. They did send me a private offer of knocking £1 off. Well, actually 99p. So I thankfully declined their generous offer and informed them that of the many I'd bought, I'd never paid more than £7.50. I didn't get a sarcastic message back from them, but I have before. I've even had one person deliberately put a 99p bid on one of my own items, just as a tit for tat sort of thing. This is a twin pack intermodal, the British sort of version of what you guys in the States have. We don't have well cars. Well, actually we do. There is one route they use them because of the low bridges. So Maersk line would fit in more or less with my period. If not, it doesn't matter. I've got them. I think they were £38, and they're normally making £45 to £55 on Hattons, let alone eBay. And this one does have the handrails intact, which is a bit unusual, although it's only the first one. So that's the first round. You've seen these other bits here. So we've got the Sprog for, if anyone doesn't know what that is, it's for reading your decoders. Or programming. You can't program sound onto sound operated chips, but you can look at all of the CV settings rather than sort of mess about with each individual one, reading it, changing it and writing it back. You can call them all up on a screen on the JMRI type software, make the changes, send them back to the loco and do it all sort of wholesale in one lot. So it's a bit more user-friendly interface, and this will obviously give me the ability to mess around with locos on a bit of track on the table in the house, rather than have to keep traipsing back into the railway room shed when it's built.
And you can also run a small layout on this. I think, yeah, this is the 2v4. You can, so the Gumph says on I watch their videos, you can use it as an interface between JMRI to run your DCC trains, as long as you don't put more than 2 amps through, I think. It's just you know, you can use it for testing or loading and downloading CV settings or remapping. So £34 I think it was. I think they are 64 off the website. It's about half price, and it's around about what they're making on eBay, and I had already sort of thought per chance one came up, so we had it. Right, let's move on to the next section. So, back again, round again. So we've got Morse's Jag, £5. These were in clearance at £4.84 for the old AA Breakdown T4. A nice sexy black T4. Again £4.84, and an old Royal Mail Sherpa. Same price. Then we've got the clearance stuff, which was £1 a pack for this quality Vietnamese late fall. I don't know why Hornby call their stuff American names, but maybe they sell it over there as well, I don't know. But again, I bought them because they're £1, dirt cheap, and as I said, they can be recoloured or mixed in and blended. Now, these in hindsight probably weren't a bargain. Well, we are Hattons here, so the word bargain isn't something you normally use with Hattons. The tank trains, as you can see, they're not quite as big as tank car as I thought they were going to be. They were £10. You don't see them very often, and ironically there was another one on eBay the other day with a job lot, but it was one of the job lots I got knocked out of the running. Well, I got knocked out of the park. They went silly money for a bunch of kit wagons. So there's 2 of those, £10 each. This one was £8 for an Athern blue box kit, which is, you know, I don't pay any more than that. This one, same sort of thing, but it's been put together not very well. I think this one was more money. No, that was 6 and this was 8. That one, the crappier one, was more money anyway. Obviously they weren't listed on the same day, but there's another sort of, there doesn't seem to be a lot of parity with their pricing. And another rail box. This one's a roundhouse, not an Athern. And this was more money, although they're pretty much not much in them. Again, it's a kit one. Needs a bit of weathering afterwards. Paley yellow, I think, but could be its age. And these were £10 each. They are container flat cars, sort of the earlier type, or obviously the flat cars were used for trailers, containers, whatever they could fit on them really. That one's a cotton belt. I'm not sure whether the other one is. Let's say. But they were £10 each, which I thought, you know, considering you've got HO containers on there as well, there's 2 20-foots and a 40-foot on each one, so they were okay money. So we're nearly there. One more round, I think. Just like I used to do at work. Make sure it's all there, check it off, then put it away into storage. Not a lot changed, I just don't get paid for it now. So everything is there that I purchased. It might not be quite what I purchased, but yeah, so if there's any N-scalers that are after an N-scale auto rack for £25 plus the postage, let me know. Because obviously if I contact Hattons, am I going to get brick walled anyway? And 2, I'm going to have to pay postage to send it back to them, and then try and get my postage back in addition to the refund. Assuming they're still contactable. If not, I'll just go through the old credit card after a month and do a chargeback. So, the last of it, Tiny Signs by Gauge Master. Now they were £1.27, so I'm guessing they were about £2.50 plus new retail. Gotta say, they're not outstanding quality. The print quality on them is shit, not to put too fine a point on it. If I'd have seen them hanging in a model shop, I would have passed them by. I think even my old knackered printer could do a better job than this, and I know certainly that modern printers could produce clearer type print than this. It's a bit hard with the light glaring on it, but I know it is only supposed to give the impression of a written board at a distance, but the quality ain't great, as I keep shining the bloody plastic in the way. So, clearance, £2. Some more Model Power utility figures. Again, they're handy to dot around in different little cameos there, you know, cable layers or whatever, construction workers. To doing, and for that money, you know, £2 each. Delayed magnetic uncoupler, I think it's a delayed. I got a few of these to go in the layout at various places. Probably more so on the American side that I build, because obviously these are for KD couplings and I'm not planning on converting all of the English rolling stock from tension lock to KD because it would cost too much money. So try and check one of them you've seen, which is the LEDs for the LEDs for the welding effect controller, which I bought 2 of previously. I only got this one because obviously it was reduced. I could have just put ordinary LEDs in it. I just wanted to see what they're like for comparison with that sort of bright ultraviolet white light that you get with a welding flash off a MIG welder or something. And then another set of LEDs are just their refill sort of pack for their traffic lights. But obviously if they fit them, they fit the signs, and I've bought a number of their little packs of the unilluminated signals, so you just put your own LEDs in, but they are quite small because they're surface mount jobbies normally. They had batteries on clearance. These are not the little 1.5 volt button cells, these are 3 volt lithium cells, and I do have already, if you've seen an older video, some button cell holders to go in the smaller wagons or undercarriages of coaches and things to put the end of train lights in. Magnetic reed switches are the problem. No one seems to do them aftermarket from China, or and at £2.99 each they're rather expensive for a switch. So I've been trying to find magnetic hall sensors that latch. First lot I bought weren't latching despite what the advert said. So watch that space. I'm hoping to do a magnetic, you know, wandy thing, but a lot less than the pre-made kits. Apologies for me keep shining plastic under the light. These were £9. I think the other 2 figure packs were £7, so these were a bit dearer, but I haven't got a lot of British Rail staff, period. So they were in the bag, considering what pre-painted figures cost. This was another, I don't know whether the video's out by the time you watch this, but I did pick up a job lot of 4 for £45, which was quite a good price. They do go for a premium, even the Lima ones. This I put on the box was £7, so it was a bit of a, oh well, that'll go with the other ones, it's cheap enough. Now this crane, as you know, I've got a bit of a crane thing. It does have the elusive little control-y things to put in the cab to make the jib go up and down. There was 2, both £11. One was damaged and one wasn't. Guess which one I bought? Not the damaged one. So that's been sat in my trunk for months, waiting for me to build up, which then became my final order, as I already said it would have been anyway. I have got it, but I have one that's not perfect, so this is basically an upgrade replacement for the other one, London North Eastern. I don't think they ever had that crane, but there you go. It's a crane. I collect cranes. I bought it. And lastly, I wanted a new paint solution that you can't see yet, but my rack over there is empty. Oop. Get it back in focus. This one is wall mounted. That one over there isn't. And I did have a incident, which is why it's empty. So they had these on clearance at £7.99. I think they were around about a good third. I think they're about £15, £17 depending on where you go. It's not that one in the picture. They had these are for the little dropper type bottles, but because they're wall mounted I thought, well, they'll be handy when I build the sort of workshop corner in the layout room. They can go on the wall so they're not cluttering up any workspace for the paints. So 2 of them will cover enough paints that I currently own. They did have the one for the little sort of 22mm screw pots, but that was a bit more money, and I figured probably the amount of off-cut wood I'm going to end up with in the build, I'll probably be able to knock something up. So I bought 2. I did think about going back and buying a third one, but a few days later everything had gone that was Hobby Zone, which makes me think that some of the stuff that disappeared off Hattons rather rapidly has probably been sold to other shops, as they seem to have looked to have cleared it as quickly as possible. So that is it, the final. Oh, my knees. Well, there's a final round up to this complete cock-up of a video. I do know how I deleted them, but yeah, it didn't save enough files, so we lost a lot of original footage of the opening. So, I phoned Hattons, and they agreed to refund me and not have to send it back, because obviously they're shut now, so they weren't going to resell it. So that was sort of a bonus, I guess, even though it's the wrong scale for me. But there was a bit that I checked the next day, and on my credit card it was showing as an outgoing payment and not an incoming payment. So I got in contact with them again, because I was you know, hang on, you now owe me 50 quid, not 25. But I don't know, it must be the way Tesco's do their bank system. It's been transferred to a refund now. They sent me another confirmation email. So it seems to be, if you speak to the right person, things happen in relation to the prior incident, but obviously there will be no more trading with Hattons because they're not trading anymore. But as I'd already said, you know, I was running out of patience with them. So the paint racks, I've assembled those. I'll finish off with that. They go together quite well. I did use more glue, glue it in places other than the instructions. The only thing, I do like the fact that the retainer is recessed, so you can stack them without that being in the way. The only thing I would say is, if you are going to hang them on a wall or something, is all the weight's going across this piece of wood with no other support other than the glue at the end. So I would put a couple of blocks in here to take the load all the way across this bit, or even put one of those little angle pieces, you know, the little shelving, the small brackets you can get. You can get a couple underneath maybe, unless it was sitting on a shelf, which it may well happen in my scenario. I will know once I actually get the building done. But I do quite like them. I would quite fancy the 2 matching units that will take the pots, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of stock in the UK, and as you would expect, the only people that have stock are the ones that are the dearest. So yeah, I might go back to the original plan and maybe just get some 3mm MDF or something and cut something up on the table, so when the time comes we'll have to wait and see what happens. Might turn some up, you never know. But yeah, they go together quite well. I think they're about €60, €59 on the site, but they're not worth that sort of money. Not for the sake of being a coated bit of MDF. But other than that, yeah, if you can find them sort of the sub £15 mark, they're worth a storage box for your little droplet bottles. Okay, so that's the Hatton saga over for good now. Who knows what will happen in the future? I think something else will come from them, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see.